REST API automation. So, what is actually a REST API? So, coming to this topic, before that, API, the expansion is application programming interface. It's nothing but an interface between applications. Like, consider you have a client application, you have built some software using Java, and there is another application which is we need to interact with other application to get that output. So for that communication, we need one common language. So we have a protocol, HTTP recognized protocol. So in that one, they authorized a XML or a JSON as an universal language for communications. So if you have written one application in Python, and if you have another application in Java, the common language for communication is JSON or XML. So that thing we call it as an API. So the REST API is nothing but it's a lightweight, which means we don't have some header or kind of protocol details, everything. So we will be just sending the query parameter what it is required. The kind of JSON request we will be hitting, and we will be getting the JSON response. So this is a REST API. For example, like in mobile, we have some weather update. So it's nothing but it's integrating the response of JSON from the server which is present locally, remotely somewhere, and it is getting and fetching into that mobile device. So that's an API call. So for each application, right, or whatever applications built on Google or Twitter or YouTube, Gmail, so these app, how it is communicating with other services, like it will be communicating through APIs. So we can call API as a web service, and there are some API which is not hosted in web, like Excel APIs. It is inbuilt in Excel itself. So since we can call a web service is a subset of an API. So this is a definition on a REST API, and we'll see the basic terminologies which is used in REST API. So the first basic terminologies we need to be aware in REST API is URI. URI is nothing but the you can say the expansion is Uniform Resource Identifier. So this is that endpoint URL where that actual resource is saved. It's nothing but a server, or we can call it as a database. So the data which we are searching is a residing point. We can call it as URI. So if you see that URI, it will have that scheme name. Scheme name is nothing but which protocol we are going to use, HTTP or HTTPS, something like that it will go. Then here we can call it as a domain name, and then the semicolon is a port number is there. So after that we have that resource path. Resource path is nothing but the location where that server location or the table which it points to the exact location where our data is located. And to be specific with what kind of a data, we need to pass on query parameter. So query parameter, they have mentioned name equal to Windows. So it will filter out the window, and then it will return the JSON response which is required for the user. So this is a URI. Then the second terminology which you should be aware for API testing is header fields. So header fields, we need to mention the content type, and authorization is their basic authorization, like we need to give that basic base64 encoding details and client ID. If it is like a secured kind of authorization, if it is the open authorization protocol is followed, then we need to follow send certain details with the REST API to ensure that this is the correct user who is authorized to access that resources. So that kind of a header information has to be passed in REST API. And the third thing is HTTP methods. So what type of methods the REST API is going to call? We'll see it here. So these are the supported methods in HTTP protocol. So the first method is GET. GET is nothing but it will be fetching the details from the server, like if you have an employee database, and if you are searching for the particular employee details, then for that one we need to pass GET method, and then the URL with query parameter is employee ID equal to 1, which will return the employee name and employee details and set of things. Then we can run with that JSON, we can render into UI and can display whatever it is required. So the get call is nothing but the way of fetching. Get will return the data from the database based on the query parameter. And the method post. Post is nothing but we are something newly we are making an entry to the database. Nothing but if any new employee joins to the company, then we need to enter all the details and load to the database. So in that type of situation, we will use post method. And then third method is put. Put is nothing but for that employee we have filled some basic details. After he joined to the company, then we are assigning the project or kind of things, his designation, his project details, and his roles and responsibilities, or his these kind of details we need to update at the later stage. Then we can update it using put method. Put is nothing but updating the existing details. If some record is there, we are going to add few more details. So in that type of situations, like if employee address is getting changed, in that type of scenario, we can use put method. Patch is then we can go for a patch. Patch is nothing for a minor update. The kind of a thing, if employee phone number is getting updated, it's for a minor update, some modification in existing data in the database, we can go for a patch. For example, the mobile number. And another method in HTTP is delete method. Delete is nothing but we'll be deleting the entry from the database. We hit this method with pausing all the parameters for the employee, particular employee, then it will delete the record from the database. So for the each method, it will return a set of response code. So here you will see the response code. We'll be saying it as an 1xx and 2xx, 3xx, 4xx, and 5xx. So 1xx is nothing but an informational data, and 2xx is nothing but a success data. So this success information is nothing but if you are posting something, it will get a 201, and if you are creating a new entry, it will create 201. If you are getting success response from the database, it will return 200. So these kind of details will be come as a response with that response code. If you hit that API and the fetching details, it will show you that response code and the type of response and the JSON it will return. In 3xx is nothing but a redirectional message, it will be there. So the screen has to be navigated to another screen, some temporary navigations, these kind of things, it will be in response code, it will be in 3xx. 4xx is the response code. If we get the 4xx, it is basically due to that mismatch request from user end. Is nothing but we are the client, we are making the request. If we send some wrong request, something like if a JSON is not formatted properly, then you will get invalid request for 400. And if you are not authorized by passing some invalid authorization code, then you will get 401. Then if you mistakenly give the resource path with different names, then it will show resource not found error. So there are some set of reasons error codes are there. For 5xx is nothing but an server side error. There is nothing wrong from the client end. You make the request clear, but due to some reasons, if the server is down or some server crash has happened, then the error will be throwing it as 5xx. So we will see the detailed response code in upcoming sessions.